right, hello, this is Jim Powers,
John Iannacone.
and we're here to do some testing on what happens when a drone flies into a kite line. We really don't know. This is an experiment we're going to do, so we've got a drone here. Maybe, what's the type of drone this is?
This is a DJI Phantom 2. I took the camera and the gimbal off just in case so they don't get damaged.
All right, and what kind of props are on this? Just regular?
These are just regular, plastic propellers, and I don't have any prop guards on them.
Okay, good, and that's good because we want to intentionally run it into a line. And so just to go over the conditions here, we got three types of kite line we're going to look at today. We got the Dacron, braided Dacron, 150 pound weight, test strength. It's about 1.4 millimeters in diameter. We're also going to test braided polyamide, 1.5 millimeter, also around 150 pound test line, and then end up with braided dynama, and that's 0.8 millimeters at 150 pound test line. And we have two different weights of tensile strength we're going to have. We're going to have 10 pounds of pull tensioning the line, and then we're also going to have 2.5 pounds for a kind of lighter weight. We're going to actually start with that. And behind me, I think you can see we have a kite suspended on a pole with a line running from that all the way to a fence here on a pulley that holds the weight, and that's what we're going to use for the actual testing. We're going to try to film this with 3 or 4 different cameras, different angles, just to see what will happen. Will the drone cut the kite line? Will the drone wrap itself around the kite line or bounce off the kite line? We really don't know, so that's what we hope to find out.
Yeah, and I'm actually interested to see how this works out. I've had a lot of occasions where I'm filming with my drone or Phantom, and kids flying kites are like almost chasing it. So I'm very wary of
Getting tangled.
hitting one of their lines or something. So I think even for people who use drones, pilots, if you will, they'll be really interested in the results of this test too.
Yeah, and then we'll also try, if we have time, take a look at to see can a drone using FPV view actually see a kite line if they're flying up and see it, because kite lines are very thin and hard to see. All right, so let's get underway with the test.
All right.
All right, the line didn't break.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay, this is Jim Powers. You just got a chance to see some of the videos. And now for some stills of what happens when a drone hits a kite or a kite line. So in this picture you kind of see the test setup, kite on a pole, and now you see the example of a kite line wrapped around a drone prop. So this is kind of one of the common things that occurs when a drone hits a kite line. It wraps around. This close-up picture here shows the dynama kite line, a very thin line wrapped around the shaft. We had to remove the propeller to take the line off. This shows a pool noodle that was cut with a high-speed prop, and again the blades chop right through that styrofoam, if you will. And this just basically shows the moment of impact from looking down, looking up from underneath. This next series of shots shows stills of kind of holding the drone almost like a chainsaw, trying to cut the kite line with the tip of the high-speed prop. And again, there's a couple examples of that. And this shows the drone hitting the kite line right at the moment of impact, and then the next picture shows it rotating over and then crashing to the ground. So this is, again, a very common output, is either a wrap or a crash. This shows 3 different kite lines that were used, and the abrasion points on them or cut marks. On the top is in green is a very loose braid polyamide, very stretchy line. In the middle is a blue Dacron line, and on the bottom is the white dynama line. This is a close-up of just kind of the wear mark from almost melting the line from the high-speed prop impacts on the Dacron. And again, here's the white dynama line showing the wear points from prop impacts. All right, next we're going to talk about what happens when a drone hits the kite itself. So this actually shows again the test layout. The drone actually accidentally flew and hit against the kite, and we're going to show a quick little video clip of this. The camera is pointing the other way, so I have to listen to the audio.
Yeah, I was going to say don't hit the kite, but...
Okay, in that audio you should have heard a whop, 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 kind of, that's where the blades were hitting the actual face of the kite, you know, the ripstop nylon, and the blades actually did a pretty bad job of just cutting through the face of the kite. Here's some images that actually show that. You can see the deep cut marks from the blades hitting the kite itself. This little wider shot. You can see score marks. The white keel has a hole in it. The red area also has a gash. These next couple of shots basically show the notes that we collected during the many experiments. So there's some handwritten notes with some additional detail that's listed here. This actually shows a close-up of the actual drone flying against and hitting the kite and where the cut marks were and how it crashed afterwards. And this shot basically shows myself on the left and John Ionicone, the drone pilot. I want to thank John for his willingness to put his drone at risk for these experiments. So in the end, the drone was not able to cut the kite line on all three of the lines we tested, but it did damage heavily the kite itself. That's kind of a summary of these experiments. Additional information can be found on the YouTube descriptions of each of the videos. There's actually about 7 videos or 8 videos that have been posted. And certainly you can find additional information on the links that you see on the screen. Thank you very much. Enjoy.